Assalamu alaikum and welcome to the AppSex online support program. Textbook we are going to study today is English Ahead Student Book 2. Today's topic is story writing and the resources required are loose sheets or notebook. Introduction. In this lesson, students will learn the techniques and methodology of writing a story. Quote of the day. I'll begin my lesson with the quote of the day. That's everybody walks past 1,000 story ideas every day. The good writers are the ones who see 5 or 6 of them. Most people don't see any. Let me introduce you to the keywords of this lesson. Number 1 is setting. A setting is where the story takes place. Number 2, event. A sequence of happenings in the story. Resolution. How the character finally resolves the problem. Plot. The setting, events, problem, resolution, ending of a story makes a plot. Conflict. A disagreement or dispute that arises in the story. Objectives of this lesson are: you will be able to discuss the important parts of story, think about the settings and the characters, think about story plans, opening, setting, events and resolutions, and write a story. Let's move towards the topic now. Thinking about setting. Do you know what is a setting? A setting is where the story takes place. It could be anywhere, for example, maybe a cottage, haunted house, or even the park. As you can see in these pictures, there are different settings shown for your help. You can choose any of them or any other setting that you may like. Then comes the main character, the person, animal, or thing your story is about. That is the main character. Every story starts with a main character. It can be any animal, human, or thing you want it to be. Try choosing a main character you like to draw if you plan to illustrate your story. Start by asking yourself some questions. Who is your main character? What does he, she, or it like or dislike? What is your character's personality? What does your character look like? Show how they feel using adverbs and adjectives, for example, tired, angry, excitedly, happily, sadly, curiously. I hope you understand how the main character is going to work. Now it's time to find out, what should I include in a good story? Events. Yes, an interesting story will contain events. A strong, exciting plot has an unexpected event, a crisis, or a problem which needs to be sorted out by the end of the story. Stories can contain more than one problem. Plans could go wrong, like there should be an accident, something or someone could get lost, a machine could break down, something important could get stolen, and many more ideas are there that may help you to create your events of the story. Now it's time to think, what will make your story excellent? Writing an excellent story. The question words are very important when writing stories. Who, what, how, where, when, and why. These questions will help you find out how your story is going to build up. You can see this example. The little girl ran quickly to the shop to get some bread at 7 a.m. so her mom can make toast. You can see the blue one is who, the purple one is what, the orange one is how, red one is where, brown is when, and then comes why. And you can find their answers in the same colors. Problem: the challenge your character must face and overcome. Without a problem, your story would be dull as watching paint dry snooze city. But when you give your main character a problem to solve, your story comes alive. Be sure to make it a big enough problem. Remember, having a hangnail isn't much of a problem, but hanging on a cliff is. Okay, so your problem that you are going to add in your story must be a big one. Important tip: use the magic of conflict. Conflict means someone or something tries to stop your character from solving the problem. The more times your hero tries and fails, the better. So you have to add the conflict in your story that will make it more interesting and readable. Resolution: how the character finally solves the problem. The most satisfying resolutions come when you think your hero is about to give up. When they have tried everything else, they finally solve the problem. It's best if your main character solves the problem on his or her own. Story endings: explain the result of the events or show how the problem was solved. But don't end with everyone going home for dinner or someone waking up to find it was all a dream. That's boring. Let me give you an example. Start. Three scruffy pirates sat around a table in the Lord Nelson Hotel, staring down into their empty plates. One by one, they emptied out their pockets. It seemed they all had run out of money. And the pirate gang made their way down the quay to their favorite hotel to celebrate their success. They had earned enough money now to buy a whole year's worth of meal and have change. As you can see, the story began with the three scruffy pirates, and in the end, they found what they wanted. Now let's continue with the story endings, and I'm going to explain you the final sentence. The final sentence is as important as the opening sentence. It usually sums up the story's theme or message. Here are some examples that your story is going to end with. It had been the best day of my life. I'll never forget the trip. If only he hadn't been so selfish. She realized taking part is much more important than winning. They were richer than they could ever have dreamed. These are a few examples. You can add some more examples that you may like for your stories according to that. Storyboard. Storyboard helps you to plan a story without writing it all out. Here you can see a board that comprises of opening, setting, characters, problem, how it is solved, and the ending. If you will fill it up, adding how you're going to start your story, that is opening, and the setting, which will be the characters you are going to add in your story, and what will be the problem and how it is going to be solved and how it is going to end. That will make a very good plot of a story. So, must follow a storyboard. I hope you have understood all the steps I have told you to write a story. Now it's time to think and answer. What will be the setting of your story? You can take a paper in your hand right now and start thinking about it so that you may be able to write down the setting, how many characters you want to add. Just write down number of characters. Who will be the main character? Suppose any character that comes in your mind right now about which you want to write. What special quality your main character will have? Think about any special quality that comes in your mind or you might have seen in some stories. You can add into your own story as well. It's time to recap now. Now you are going to plan a great story. Here is a checklist. First of all, title of your story. Where will it take place? That is setting. Characters who will be in your story. What problem will they have? How will they solve the problem? Resolution. And how will the story end? And remember to add the final sentence in the end of the story. Now let's move towards the assignment. I have given you 3 topics and in the second topic you will find some pictures. Now it's up to you. Either you select 3 topics from this page, like a group of children discover a dead body, a boy gets a lesson from his mischief, when a girl or boy disobey his or her mother. You can choose any one of them, or you can choose any one picture out of these and then you can write a story about any one of them. This is your choice. Either you select the topics from the previous page or this one. I hope you have understood the lesson very well and you'll be able to write a wonderful story of your own by using the techniques I have taught you today. Now I am going to end my lesson with this moral value, that is determination. It takes a dream to get started, desire to keep going, and determination to finish. Thank you so much.